Welcome to the Contractors Secret Weapon Radio Podcast, the show dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, and others in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over their competition. Get ready for some inspiration, some encouragement, some proven business building strategies, and a couple of new ideas that can take your business to the next level and beyond. And now, broadcasting from the Contractors Secret Weapon Studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dave Negri.
Hey, this is Dave Negri, your co-host for Contractor Secret Weapon.
And this is Pete Mitchell, your other co-host for Contractor Secret Weapon.
Hey, thanks for stopping by today. So Pete and I were talking a little earlier, a few minutes ago, about what to talk about today. And I said, well, let's talk about this. And he goes, what are you thinking about that? And I said, oh, well, this is how I'm thinking about it. And he goes, wow. He said, I'm thinking completely different. So when I say this, Pete thinks about it differently than I do, or it was just a thought. So let's just going to run with it.
Yeah.
So I said, do you have passive or active marketing?
And so then my question to you was, what do you mean by that? Like, what is passive marketing? What is active marketing?
Passive marketing, I think that so many guys get into contractors, get into the passive part is, I'm just going to wait for the phone to ring. And active is, I'm really going to put something together to make it happen so the phone rings all the time. Build multiple funnels. To me, that's active marketing. And passive is just, hey, whatever happens. Sort of like that pacifist. I'm not going to fight no matter what.
Kind of like, I hope someone calls me. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Because see, to me, when you said passive versus active, I'm looking at it totally different. So you're in the business. You've been, roof cleaning, painting, doing all that type of stuff for years. And so when I heard active versus passive, I'm thinking, okay, to me, active for most businesses is, oh man, I need to get a client in here like right now. So I better go run an ad. Maybe I should do this Google thing. Maybe I should run in this magazine. Oh, hey, the Facebook guy just called me. I should do some Facebook ads. Like to me, that's active. Like I'm hyperactive. I got to hurry up and get something in here. Hopefully something comes up. Almost like there's no plan to it. And to me, passive marketing was kind of what you were talking about with active. Like you and I literally had those reversed, I think. Because I'm like, passive marketing to me is, hey, I've got everything so nailed down. I've been through Pete and Dave's 9-step course. I got my perfect avatar. I got my lead bait. I know where I'm going to use my ads. I know how I'm doing my social media. I know how I'm doing my Google. I'm getting my reviews. I'm getting my testimonials. I'm getting my referrals.
And the phone's ringing.
What's it? Yeah, my phone.
And the phone's ringing.
And I don't have to think about it. It's on autopilot. Like to me, it's like passive income, right?
Right.
It's passive income in real estate. It's money on autopilot. It just comes in every month. Mailbox money, as it's often referred to. And to me, that's what I think of when I think of passive marketing. Is it's mailbox money. I've done the work. It's an asset in my business. I just literally sit back and get the clients.
Wow.
Because I want passive income, right? That's what
I want. Passive income too. And I want an active marketing campaign. So I can get that passive income. Right. Or continual income so I can focus on other things in my business that will keep my business running.
And then the cool thing is if you set up your business the right way, all of that marketing becomes an asset in your business.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you don't have to do it over and over again. It's not like, oh, what's the lead bait I should use? Or in fact, interesting, Dave, one of the things that I have the businesses I work with put together is an advertisement binder. And so what I have them do is I've actually got these Excel spreadsheets, and it's for various different types of marketing. If they're doing pay-per-click, if they're doing Google, if they're doing direct mail, magazine, newspaper, all that stuff. So they just go to the right Excel page, click the button, and then they fill in their information. They go, okay, I mailed this out to 2,000 homes. and this was my total cost. And it'll figure out, okay, here's the per unit cost. And that's postage, that's printing, that's copywriting if you had to have someone write it up, graphic design, whatever, right? And then you just basically, when the results come in, so you have to track it, right? Which you'd use tracking phone numbers or a tracking URL. And then you can see the results. And I have them put all of that in a binder. So they get those clear plastic sheets and they print out this page from Excel. They stick it in there on one side. And then on the other side, you put the actual marketing piece, a copy of it. So if it's a letter, if it's a postcard, if it's a newspaper ad, you cut it out, stick it in there so you have the actual ad. And I don't care what the results are. Like, I don't care if it's, I got no leads off of this. Everything goes into the binder. So what you end up with is the most important piece in your business because it's got all of your marketing. If you want to know, hey, you know what? Life is tough right now. I need some more business right now. You can open up the binder, go right to the page where you had your most successful campaign and literally just duplicate it.
Cool.
Do the same thing all over again.
That's smart. Because a lot of times we'll get our businesses grow and they grow and they grow. And then we get at a plateau and we look for new things to do instead of going back to the beginning and look at the things that actually worked. We've forgotten all about those. So that's perfect for that because now you've got basically your journal on what worked and how I did it and the amount of calls and stuff like that. Now, here's an interesting thing about tracking that I learned a long time ago, and it blew me away. I had a coach and he said, I want you to start tracking everything. Track your calls, track the people that call you, da-da-da-da-da-da. And okay, so what actually happened by tracking, business exponentially grew.
Really?
It blew me away. I didn't do, I was actually paying attention to what was coming in, tracking each phone call, tracking each response, each estimate, and going from there. And it just blew me away at the end of the month on how much more business I actually got. And by tracking, now I knew how many calls I had gotten and how many estimates I had done instead of just thinking about it.
Right.
And I was blown away.
Yeah.
That one little simple thing.
The one thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't improve your marketing if you're not tracking your marketing. How can you improve it? I mean, you have no idea if what you did made it better or worse. And the worst part is almost every business owner, they go by their gut, right? They're like, well, my gut tells me blah. And, I think this worked because it's like, okay, that's your opinion and that's great and all, but I don't really care about your opinion. I care about the numbers. What's the science telling me? The science of your marketing. What are the results of your marketing?
Oh, absolutely.
Like when I still remember this, we did several different truck window wraps for you. Yeah. And we used tracking phone numbers on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember one of them, you were telling me, you're like, oh yeah, I get at least a lead a day off of that. And it's like, okay, but that's because we can track it. Like we know where the lead was coming from because they were calling a specific phone number.
Right.
To hear a free recorded message. I don't even remember what we were offering on the back of
I forget what it was.
But we could track it. And I mean, most business owners, it's like, oh, hey, I got a really great 800 number. I'm sticking that 800 number on everything. And now you have no idea what works because everything goes into the same phone number. And then you go, oh, well, my gut tells me this, that, or that.
And my pocketbook saying something else. Right. Yeah, I know there was a couple of ladies that had a huge, matter of fact, they bought it back, a huge dry cleaning business. And they were running all kinds of ads. They were spending a small fortune on ads. And they weren't tracking. And finally their coach says, wait a second, we need to figure out what you're spending money on. Let's get tracking phone numbers. Let's get this, and we'll get that, and we'll start tracking each call for each item and find out. And they got rid of half their marketing. Half their marketing of junk that they were spending money on. And of course, they repurposed that money into what was working. Right. And now their business has exploded.
Right. Yeah. What's funny is there are certain industries like that one that it's really not difficult to grow it if you understand your client, if you understand the avatar. So like
Right.
the dry cleaning business, Dan Kennedy used to always say this. He'd be like, look, in that business, if you can get someone to go to your dry cleaning establishment 3 times in a row, they're your client.
Huh.
So that's your thing. I just got to get you to come here 3 times in a row. And he goes, so why don't you do this if you're starting a dry cleaning business? Go to the local radio station and say, look, I will give you, your, executive staff, whatever, free dry cleaning for life if you run this ad for, this weekend kind of a thing. And the ad that he recommended was free dry cleaning for everything you can carry in one trip with your arms.
Wow.
Right? So, because the point was, I don't care if I make no money. I just got to get you to come back 3 times.
3 times. And then I got you for life.
Then I got you for life. It's a lifetime customer, right? You're not going to leave me. So that's an annuity to the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like a fun little hook, right? Because now the radio station gets to go, hey, it's got to be in one trip. So it's whatever you can carry. Now, if you come in and then your spouse comes in and then you bring in little Johnny, okay, that's fine, but it's whatever you can carry. And each one of you, get your own little separate tickets, whatever.
Yeah.
And then what you do is, okay, so they drop it off. They come back to pick it up. When they come back to pick it up, that's when you give them what we call a bounce back coupon. For, let's say 50% off your next dry cleaning if your next dry cleaning's in the next 2 weeks. Have a time on there. So then someone's like, oh, okay, great. They wear their clothes. And like for me, when I used to go do dry cleaning, because I was a financial planner, right? So I wore suits every day and I had to go get them cleaned. Like, I think it was once a week is what I went. So, I mean, for me, if I had 2 weeks, I'd be like, cool, I'll be back in no time.
Sure.
Right. So then you come back, right? So now it's number 2. And then when they come to pick it up, oh, by the way, here's your bounce back coupon to, come back in the next time, right? Because they just turned in their 50% off coupon. Yeah. So the next one is 25% off. Oh, okay, cool. So then, then what you're doing is now you've created the habit. Okay, yours is just the place that I go to.
No, they're there every 2 weeks.
Then they're there, right? Yeah. And you just cement that in with them to keep coming back. But the only way that works is if you track it. So the way that you track it, like in that scenario, you would have different coupons. So when the green coupon came back, which was 50% off, well, then the next coupon I give them is the 25%. So I got to make sure they get that one. And that's how I track this. And I know this of, these are the people that came.
Yeah.
And then, so what if you got to do free dry cleaning for the radio station for the rest of your life? Because they just set up your whole business. Like you never have to spend another dime on marketing again.
And not only that, come on, let's be realistic about it. Everybody in there is wearing shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And they may go to a function maybe twice a year.
Yeah, exactly.
They need dry cleaning.
Or they're going to forget about it, or it's too far from my house, or right? It doesn't really even matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's because, and to me, I would actually put that as not even passive marketing, because like they kind of do the marketing and then they're done. They're just,
it's just boom, keep coming in.
It's just the annuity that keeps coming in. And it's funny to me because like I got to go to this event next week, and I'm like, all right, man, here's my problem. This, Dave, because you can see me on the webinar. I've lost right now about 90 pounds.
Yeah.
So none of my suits fit me. Like they're actually really quite funny when I stick them on. And my wife's like, you look like you're wearing someone else's clothes. And I go, I put on the coat, and I go to my wife. I go, here, come here. And she stands up next to me, and I put it around her. I go, oh, look at that. It's double breasted, right? There's 2 of us in here. And, so anyway, I literally went out and I bought one dress shirt, French cuff, because that's the kind of cuffs I like to wear. One, and then I'm like, I got to wear jeans, right? Because I still can't buy suits because I'm not at my goal. And I'm like, I don't want to go buy a suit now.
Right.
Still losing weight, right? Like I bought a blazer 2 months ago for an event I had to go to, and it's already too big.
Oh my.
I'm down 25 more pounds from when I bought that blazer. And I'm like, it looks funny on me. It's too big. So it's funny because I go to this dry cleaner that's by my house, and it's not normally the dry cleaner I go to. And I don't normally go to this one because they're so expensive. Like the shirt cost me, I don't know, $25 or whatever it was. It's, a non-tailored shirt.
20
It's
to get it dry cleaned?
No, to buy it. But then it was
to buy it.
It was $5 to dry clean it. I'm like, one shirt, $5? That's literally 20% of what I paid for the whole shirt, right? But they got no mechanism to keep me coming back there. Normally I go to another one because this other one is about $2 or $2.25 an item as opposed to the $5 an item. But it was too far. I didn't want to drive all the way over there. So, I mean, there is something to be said for location, but still, my point is they had no mechanism. They had no incentive to get me to come back and make.
You need to do it so you get free dry cleaning.
And be like, hey, I can help you with this.
Yeah.
Let me show you what to do. Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because I look at a lot of these businesses and the mistakes that they're making. Like, I'll give you another great example here. So there's this restaurant location by our house that cannot keep a restaurant to save its space. Since I've lived here in the last 12 years, I think there have been 5 different restaurants that I can think of in this one spot.
There's nothing that's going to work there.
It's not a good location, and it's funny because it's in a busy area, but it's probably on the wrong side of the street, or I don't even know. Doesn't really matter. So my wife and I, we love to go there when it was this place called Spin Pizza. They had a really good pizza, and our kids would actually eat it. And our kids are finicky and won't eat anything, right? So they would eat that one. So we loved going there. And they never had much business. And so this one time, I get this plastic direct mail piece. It's one of those plastic, postcards, and it's got like the gift card embedded in it, right? And you're supposed to rip it off and take it into the place and get a free pizza. And that was literally how we went in there the first time, right? Okay. That was their one thing. They did one thing, probably carpet bombed our whole neighborhood, everyone within, 3 miles of the place, to get us to go in there. They get us to go in there. They have no bounce back, right? There's no, hey, next time come in and we'll give you a free soda, a free pitcher of soda, or for, half off on beer or whatever, right? They didn't do anything like that. So they missed the opportunity there. And I'm also sitting there looking at that going, okay, the expense of this, I mean, granted, almost everybody likes pizza, but still I live in like this weird, kind of area, not quite as bad as Sedona, Arizona, but that same kind of new agey mentality. And I'm like, I bet you there's a lot of people who are like, no, we don't eat pizza, right? Pizza's bad for you, kind of a thing. You could actually do all of that on Facebook significantly cheaper than what they spent.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you had the bounce back and the tracking, you could end up, you could have a great little restaurant in that little spot, but they never did it. One little thing they did one time, and then that was it. And they were done. I don't know. I don't understand businesses. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's just the little things that will keep you rolling and keep going. It's just keeping up with it. And that's the point, is creating the systems to do them, because there's no secret to success. It's just constant work, putting your systems together and letting your systems run it.
Right. Yeah. Well, you look at, like, you and I, we have the Contractor Secret Weapon solution, which, my shameless plug, if you guys want to get it, you can go to cswsolution.com. Or the other way to get it is we like to give you the transcript of each podcast. So you can text in 320, that's our episode number, 320 for this episode, to 850-990-2020, 850-990-2020. I'll put it in the show notes. It'll be the very first thing so you can see it, and just do that. But in our 9 steps, we walk people through all of this stuff, right? We walk them through, here's how you identify your perfect avatar. Here's how you create the lead bait. Here's how you create the ads. Here's how you run them if you're doing direct mail. Here's how you do social media. Here's how you do Google. Here's how you pre-sell and pre-sort. Here's how you set up your nurturing system. Here's how you get reviews and testimonials and how you use that in your marketing pieces. And the reality is, a lot of this stuff, like we're talking about, the passive versus the active, whether it's like the way that you look at, active marketing as, hey, I'm actively doing something. Whereas I see it as just kind of, it's just the way that we see stuff differently. It is so easy once you've got everything set up. Like, imagine what your business would be like if you knew who you're trying to reach. You knew what would get their attention. You knew how to write an ad that would get them to respond. And then it was just a matter of putting it out there in the right medium, direct mail, Google, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, right? Because that's like the least important part of it. And here's the craziest part, Dave. In the contracting world, contractors make great money. Like, there is great profit margins if you're doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, I think if people understood how effective their ad spend could be, like in some of these different mediums that you and I train these guys on, like, let's say, doing Facebook ads, how effective it could be, spending $300-$400 a month and seeing, okay, great, we're making 10 grand, 15 grand off of that ad spend. I mean, I think it would blow people's minds.
Here's while you're talking about building up the ads and building up the systems, wouldn't this be an awesome goal, is to have your business running so smoothly that you have too much business and you now have to gear down your marketing machine?
Right.
Instead of figuring out, how am I going to ramp this up?
Right. Or take the other side, which is just keep the marketing machine running.
Hire more people.
Well, or just sell the leads. Do a split.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm going to give you this roof cleaning right here, and you're going to pay me,
X
20%.
Yeah.
You're going to sell it for $500. I want $100. You're going to sell it for $1,000. I want $200. I mean, was it you I was talking with? I know I've talked about this a couple of times over the last few days. I don't know if you remember, but there used to be a site called Lending Tree. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't on a podcast, was it?
I don't think so.
No, I think it was maybe the mastermind call.
Yeah, I think it was.
So, guys, here's the point. Lending Tree, I don't know if they're still around. I have no idea. But they would get basically mortgage leads, people who needed a loan, and they would sell those to brokers and bankers for, I think, like $50 a lead. And they would sell it to 4 people. So they knew they were going to make $200, right? Because they're selling it to 4 people at $50 a piece. But the company, Lending Tree, was also licensed. So once the deal was closed, they got $750. That was part of their contract with those brokers and bankers. So if one of those 4 closes it, they're going to make another $750. They never had to do a loan ever.
Never.
All they had to do was generate the leads and sell the leads. So in your business, if you generate the leads so much that you're totally busy, you could, like Dave said, wind down everything, stop getting as many leads, or turn around and sell them to your competition. Say, hey, look, I'm going to give it to you for $50. And then if you close it, you're going to give me, 20%. Or if you close it, you're going to give me X. In fact, I used to get these leads from this one financial planning firm. They would generate these leads nationwide, and I was one of the guys out here in California who could get them. And they would always give us, because they would do a preliminary, so they kind of knew how much commission was on the table.
Okay.
They'd say, okay, you can buy a lead with no guarantee for $100, or you can buy it with a guarantee for $150. And the guarantee was, if I paid them $150, if I didn't close it and make any money, they would give me back my $150. But if I accepted no guarantee,
wow.
So I could lose my $100, right? Because I bought the lead. I could totally lose it if the guy doesn't buy from me. But, it cost me $50 less. And I was talking to my buddy, and he had like northern LA County. And he goes, oh, yeah, always buy the guarantee. He goes, I always buy the guarantee. Because if I don't close it, I get my money back, and I don't really care. He goes, and if I close it, what do I care about the extra,
50, yeah.
Whatever it is. I mean, because some of them would be like, this is a $300 lead. This is a $500 lead. Because they would do the preliminary. They knew how much commission was on the table because they did it in Utah. They just didn't do it in other parts of the country.
Gotcha.
So they knew how much money was on the table. They weren't stupid about it. But my point is, guys, there's lots of different ways that you could generate leads and then create that as an additional income stream for yourself.
Yeah. You don't have to. There's more than, it's called multiple streams of income.
Right. Yep.
Other profit centers.
That's it.
Yep. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
We've got other multiple streams of income or other profit centers, or we've got multiple streams of marketing, other profit centers.
That's it.
And it's multiples. It's not one.
Yeah.
Because not everything's going to work the same way every day.
Yeah. In fact, kind of the way that I like to look at marketing is I've always referred to it as I have a stable of marketing, but really I think a better analogy might be like, something where you have like thinking back of how they used to fight, in wartime where they'd have, the front line and then you have the line right behind them and the line right behind them. The first one fires a shot and then they go down, go to the back. And then, the next one comes up and they can fire their shot. Then they go back and then the next one comes up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way that I look at marketing. I got lots of different marketing pieces that I know are effective. It's like, okay, this one's fired its shot. Let's say I'm running a Facebook ad. Okay, this one's fired its shot. It's no longer pulling. Okay, put it to the back. Bring the next one up. All right, this one's now firing its shot. It's bringing me leads. And then when it stops bringing me leads, okay, put it to the back and then bring the next one. And then eventually you can get back to the ones that you did originally and you can bring them back up because now there's been enough time
that they're not blind to them.
They're not blind to that ad. The public isn't blind to that ad. Now I can bring it back up. So, when I hear people, I got this marketing piece, or I don't even remember what I did a year ago. And I'm like cringing, like, where's your book, right? Like, let's go back to the well. You've already done the work. Let's just bring it out and start using it.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I think that's why I see passive and active marketing differently than you do.
Yeah, yeah. I like the passive. I'll think of passive income.
That's what I want. I just want my marketing on autopilot.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about anything. And guys, if you're like, hey, I want to get my marketing on autopilot, you need to come through our mastermind group. Go to cswsolution.com. Go there right now. I mean, pull your truck over to the side of the road, look it up on your phone, go through the process there. You need to come through it because it's going to help you tremendously. It's going to get your business the way you want it to be, get it all set up and ready to go. Any final thoughts, Dave, that you want to throw out there?
No, just create the system and make it work. It all works. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
Once it's up and running, then it's just one of those things. Okay, now we go do something else.
That's it. Cool
beans.
All right, guys, if you want to get a copy of this episode, again, just text 320 to the phone number 850-990-2020. Get your 2020 vision.
2020.
And that'll be in the show notes. So go ahead and do that right now, guys, and we'll get this transcript right over to you. Take care, everybody.